I'm Nick Boy and welcome to Pocket, and today I'm with Arnie Meyer, Director of Communications at Naughty Dog. Arnie, welcome back.
Thank you, I'm excited to be here.
Thank you very much. I'm excited you're here because you have brought Uncharted 4 with you.
We did.
And I get to play some of it.
Yes, you do.
Can you tell me what I need to know before I jump in?
Sure. So the demo section that we've brought in is about a third of the way into the game. It's a good section. There's a little bit of vehicle driving in it, which is we're excited to sort of preview the first time. There's a little bit of combat in it. It'll give you an opportunity to go in stealth or not stealth. So, you know, show off a little bit of options in terms of driving and combat.
Do we have some good quips?
There's definitely good
quips.
Yeah, there's some great dialogue between all three of the characters. Because Sam, Nate, and
So
Sully
we will be
are
seeing
there.
Sam, who's Nate's brother.
Yes.
And Nate and Sully.
Yes.
Surrogate father.
Yes.
It's a family affair. It's
It
like a
is.
family road trip.
Pretty much.
All right, well, let's jump in and see how they fight.
Let's do it.
So, what are we looking for out here?
Well, the map shows all these structures around the volcano. Some abandoned outposts, a handful of watchtowers.
Watchtowers?
Avery was the most wanted man in the world, so if he was hiding something out here, it makes sense he'd need lookouts.
One of those towers is right on the volcano.
With Avery's treasure.
Fingers crossed.
If you want, you can hop into these ruins.
I'm just
you can see
burning
that-
around here because there seem to be no cops.
There are no cops.
Okay, good.
Oh, Victor.
I mean, you're in the middle of Madagascar. Just
That's true.
stop you.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm carrying a bunch of
Tend
weapons.
to pick jobs that get me away from the computer.
Yeah, I was telling Nathan it's shocking how much of the business has moved.
So why are we in Madagascar?
So, Nate and Sam are looking looking for Henry Avery's treasure.
Yeah.
And so their search has taken them to Madagascar because that's one of the places where they think his treasure could be hidden. And in history, it kind of makes sense that it could be in Madagascar. The pirates were operating out of the Indian Ocean. It kind of makes sense that they would head over here as sort of a safe place.
Right, okay.
So their search in terms of where the story has gone has brought them here. And there's a bunch of ruins here that Nate and Sam feel could contain Avery's treasure or some clues to it.
So Avery was in fact a real pirate.
Yes, he was.
Uh,
He was a sailor before he was a pirate.
Right. Well, I figured that's kind of a prerequisite, right? Like you'd be a terrible pirate if you didn't know how to use a boat. Why pick him? Why is he so famous?
He was interesting for us for a few reasons, actually. One was that he had a really short career as a pirate. It was only 2 years long, but in those 2 years, he became one of the most infamous pirates in history.
Yep.
Partly because he was able to put together a bunch of pirates.
You were going to say unionized
Unionized pirates,
Yeah.
yes. He was able to unionize
But that
pirates
doesn't sound too sexy on the
some,
back of
for
Uncharted.
some collective bargaining. He was able to get together a bunch of pirates to create a fleet.
Yep.
Which is something that isn't very common. Pirates usually like to work alone. They want all the money for themselves. But he managed to put them all together for a big score. And this was another reason why he became infamous, was being able to put together this big score. And they were going after the fleet of the Mughal Empire, which is where India is now.
So he's like putting together the Expendables team for the pirates.
Basically, yes. And they were able to attack the fleet. They were able to capture the largest ship in that fleet, the Gunsway. And the treasure haul was massive. It's worth over $400 million in today's value.
That's crazy.
Which
in,
is huge.
Like doubloons and trade in like what are they trading? Money or diamonds?
It was coins. It was artifacts. It was jewelry. Basically everything.
Yeah.
This was basically the Mughal emperor's all of his treasure in there. So everything he'd acquired by creating an empire was part of this.
Amazing. And now Nate's trying to track that down as well.
Nate's trying to track that down.
I noticed when I'm going up the hill, that was a muddy climb.
Yes, it was.
Traction-wise, I was sort of slipping out, and you guys seem to love mud. I believe this is what we spoke about the last time you were here. You had dirt.
Our mud physics.
Yeah, and then you had snow stuff, and then you put those together, and now you've got mud physics.
Yes. And it's actually really important for us with the vehicle driving, because one of the things we are trying to do with a lot of Uncharted is that you're problem solving
Yeah.
almost all the time.
Yeah.
Either how you approach combat, how you're trying to explore and traverse.
My problem is the bridge doesn't exist right now. Am I good? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Good. And the same thing for the vehicle. There's different types of terrain, and they have different amounts of traction. So now you have to figure out, how can I make sure I have enough traction to climb up here, or do I need to do something else to be able to pass these parts?
So here I'm trying to find some stones to find my traction.
Yeah, the rocks are going to give you the traction you need to get past through the mud.
You need traction here.
I cannot
Not
believe
doing
that.
too well.
Are they commenting on my bad driving?
Yes, they are.
Sully.
Well, that's the great part about all of this is the dialogue really reflects what's happening. Sometimes they'll give you hints in terms of what you're supposed to do, and sometimes they'll just flesh out a little bit of what's going on.
So far, this seems way bigger than the other games that you've had, just in terms of the scale of this map. Seems to be very open
Look,
and
tire tracks.
way. I'm never going to make
Someone
up
came
those
up
roads.
this way.
And just way more space that I can go and explore that is actually reacting to.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were trying to showcase, not only with this, but just in general with what we're trying to do with Uncharted 4 is there's always this concept we've talked about. It's like wide linear, which is like how can we
gonna scout
create
around.
the most expansive space, given the fact that our story moves forward in a linear fashion. We know where the story's going, but we want to give you an opportunity to explore as much as possible. And this is, I would say, the ultimate version of it, where you have this massive environment that you need 4x4 to traverse,
Yeah.
and have all of these opportunities to get off and explore.
And will we be seeing more vehicle stuff in the game?
There is more than just this one vehicle section.
Yeah.
To it. You saw a little.
This
glimpse
one
of
seems
some-
very nice. Don't get me wrong. Like I would be if it was just this, I'd be totally happy. But I'm just saying, you know.
You did see a glimpse of some other another aspect of it with the E3 demo from last year, where we
Yep.
were crashing through the marketplace and a little bit more of a high action.
Actually, that's very true. Yeah.
feel to it.
And then I'm just hanging off a rope on the end of a vehicle there.
Right.
Yeah. I've totally left the car
Yes.
because I feel like I'm making my own way.
That might take you forever. You
Right.
might want to go.
Do you
want
want
to?
to? Do you want to just? Do you want to just point me in the right direction once I get to the car? Like
Yeah,
think
absolutely.
of. I want you to think of yourself as my GPS.
Yes.
So-
I'm your Tenzin. I'm your guide through.
You're my Tenzin. Exactly. You've got the beard. You're my Norgay. So Norgay me to wherever I need to get to.
All right. Well, we're heading right through here. You're actually on the right track originally. Poor Sam and Sully.
Yeah, just
They're
chilling there in the
sitting
heat.
around. They're probably having
terrible.
some conversation about you.
Yeah, because what can you tell me? Like, how awkward is their relationship? What can you tell me? Give me something juicy, some family secrets.
I think Sully, being a good mentor father figure, is he's accepting of you.
Yeah.
As long as you're upfront with him. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's had to learn a lot of secrets that you've kept hidden from him. If you see the tire tracks over there,
Oh, right.
you'll be
Oh,
able to
wow.
walk
Oh.
around them. See, there's little visual hints everywhere.
See,
terms
I
of
live in
pointing out.
Sydney, and so the traffic is. Oh, I'm just totally spinning out here. The traffic is never something where I would consider going up a rock. All right,
But I've
just a
seen
little-
plenty of 4x4 off-road vehicles.
Oh
around
yeah,
here.
but we hate those guys. Those guys are all, those are dicks. We don't talk about them on television. We don't want to encourage them. Do I? Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
you
go
keep
down.
going down.
Okay, what was that?
So it
That
was,
tower.
yeah, it wants you to head over to those ruins.
Yep.
You're a really terrible driver.
I'm a terrible driver, and this is actually me being a good driver.
Suspension, I got it. Hey, it's important. Going off-road, it might rain, might be muddy.
But with Nate being so eager, he doubled the price.
He would have doubled it anyway.
How did we go through this whole goddamn thing and never use that winch?
All right, hang on tight. Oh,
Shit.
I'll go. I love that you've upgraded from before it would be Nate sort of climbing up a cliff,
Right.
and the rocks would start breaking, and he would go but here it's like three guys in a truck.
Yep.
So Nathan, you're thinking Avery, Tu, and some other big shot pirates pooled their treasure and...
Where are we headed in terms of look, what am I looking for? Like, we're heading to that tower. What makes that so important?
Well, there's the chapter actually is called the 12 Towers. There's a set of towers that are spread across Madagascar, one of which is actually inside a volcano, which is sort of the ultimate
wow.
goal in the distance that you're headed towards.
Cool.
And so what you've gotten to so far is that Henry Avery's treasure might be contained in one of these towers. So you're trying to explore them in an effort to see if the treasure actually is there.
Right. Okay.
It's in pretty good shape for something several hundred years old.
Yeah. They're definitely ruins from Avery's era.
That's amazing. So is that where I was? How much of this is actually areas that I've been exploring so far?
Yeah, you can actually look back to a good portion of where you started off from. I mean, that's one of the things that we wanted to do is like not only are you headed off to a particular distance, but when you're looking at these vistas, is you can see where you've come from and sort of really get a sense of scale.
Sam, look.
That's Christopher Condon's sigil. He's captain of the Fiery Dragon, operated out of Madagascar around Avery's time. So maybe Avery recruits pirate captains to, what, be his lookouts? That don't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Well, maybe each captain was responsible for a tower, along with providing the men for it. Whatever the case, this certainly isn't our final stop on our tour.
Oh, Drake, you've gotten Drake all muddy.
Yeah, yeah. Dynamic mud. Does that get off me, or do I need to wash it off if I go through like a river?
You'll have to like wash it
I
off.
will have to wash it off. I love that.
Part of being able to explore in such a big, wide expanse is you'll be able to find treasures or collectibles. Sometimes there's notes. It sort of fleshes out a little bit more of the narrative that exists.
And is that, and the treasures and notes and stuff that you're finding, are those based off real world things that you've been researching about these pirates?
Some of them are based on real world things. It might not necessarily be related to pirates. Some of them are. It's all related to the narrative in one way or another, but there's a lot of liberty with our fiction there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the late 1600s we're talking about. There's not a lot of
There
information that
there
survives.
was Wikipedia entries talking about, idols and stuff that they used. I've got a winch at the front there as well.
Yes, you do. And that's part of our problem solving. As you can see, this is a muddy slope.
Interesting.
Got some big plans for this winch.
You'll see there's a nice tree over there. Just like a real winch, you'll have to wrap it around the tree and hook it up
Oh,
to
nice.
itself.
Right, so this...
No
this-
shortcuts.
No shortcuts.
Whoa, whoa.
Well, that looked like fun.
Steeper than it looks. All right, ready?
Give it a shot.
Here we go. Steady. Steady. See, Sully? Winch. Totally worth it.
We cleared a hill. It hasn't exactly paid for itself.
Well, not yet. Small victories.
Yeah, well, I'll celebrate the big ones.
I just gotta put the winch back and we'll be on our way.
Are we worried about how lazy Sam was that he didn't come and unhook the winch for me?
I think he's got some liberties. He has been gone for a while. He was suspected dead.
Yep.
He's got a bunch of bullet hole scars.
Right, okay, yeah, so we're going to cut him a break, is
yeah.
what you're saying.
He deserves a little bit of a rest.
Here's my question. How are they planning on getting down? Are we just going to burn it down the other side of the hill?
Feast your eyes, gentlemen. Wow.
Spectacular.
So you said we're ultimately heading towards the volcano. Is that in this session or like throughout the game? Like, should I be
in this
aiming-
session? This
Yeah,
isn't
okay, cool.
one aspect of it. Yeah. One of the things we always do, if you really pay close attention to how we do games, is anytime you're traversing the environment, we do have a goal that you're headed off to in the distance.
Yep.
And we'll take you through a path where right now it's hidden, and then you'll see it again. So you always have a feeling of like I'm progressing somewhere, and that's where I'm meant to go.
Yep.
Even though it may disappear for a little bit, it's sort of meant to like push you forward.
The point is, we got it pretty easy.
Yeah, well, still taking a long time.
Sully's complaining about your bad driving, about how long it's taken you to get to the volcano.
Well, if Sully wanted to drive, then Sully should have jumped in the front seat.
I don't know. Sully's getting up there in age. Do you
That
want
is
him to try?
true. How many years ahead is this game from the last one?
It's a few years ahead. We
Yeah.
haven't really settled down on the amount of time, but you know, it's more than 3 years. It could be a little bit further ahead. So quite some time has passed.
Yeah.
For sure. And I mean, it's not only just time passing for these characters, but the fact that all of their adventures have taken their toll on them.
Yep.
And that's the thing we've done with all of the games, and you've noticed that Drake has really sort of been affected emotionally by what's happened.
Yeah.
And, physically as well, and so we wanted to show that. And same thing for Sully. You know, it's like it's not that he's just becoming an older man.
Yeah.
But the fact that he has been adventuring, and that's tough. That's tough on anybody.
And he pretty much gets kidnapped every game.
Yeah. Almost died.
Almost died. Now, I see these sort of little rock totem stacks everywhere.
Yes.
Are these, what are these?
So in a way for us, it's a way to visually mark for you, like sort of what the main path is, and that you're in the right direction.
Right,
for the
okay,
main
cool.
Path.
Okay, nice.
It's one of those little game design tricks. Sort
Yeah,
of
cool.
like, again, having the volcano in the background, so you have that distance or that purpose off in the distance.
Yep.
These little rock formations are the same thing too. It's like, oh yeah, I'm sort of headed in the right direction.
Yeah, cool.
So you want to head up to the right over
Yeah,
there.
this muddy slope.
Look at that.
Oh, shit! Stop!
I see him. What do we got? Military types poking around.
Nadine's guys?
Yep. Son of a bitch.
Looks like they found an old colony outpost.
But the wrong one, right?
That's the good news.
And that means it's bad news.
The only route to the volcano is straight through them.
Oh, shit. You do have the drop on them.
What's the play here, Nathan?
Just follow my lead.
Okay, so this would be a good time to start examining the idea of stealth that you put in here.
Right. So yeah, this is a part where you're approaching the combat scenario. There's the ruins out in the distance. So you have a degree in terms of which direction you want to approach this from. As you can see over there on the right, there's a little bit of stealth grass that you can start heading into.
Yep. And he just automatically goes in?
Yeah, you automatically
cool.
go in and you're in stealth. The fact that Drake is hunched over, that's just a visual indicator to let you know that you're in stealth.
Yep.
So you don't have to say, oh, go in and out of stealth. So yeah, you can see some enemies. So now if you click down on the left stick, you can mark them.
Okay, nice.
And that's part of the sort of new stealth mechanics to let you have some awareness of where the enemies are when you're going in. We've really expanded the amount of stealth in here to, again, open up the amount of options you
Yeah,
have
I like it.
when you're approaching combat. Like if you're really good, you can do this entire section with stealth.
Alright, that's not gonna happen, but I like confidence.
I'm not like that either. I'm a little bit more impatient as well, so it doesn't tend to work out that way.
Might just go around here. I feel like in this scenario, I'd like to know roughly how many people I'm dealing with. Grappling hook?
Yeah, you can use a grappling hook to either in combat or
Yep.
to find a quicker way up if you'd like.
Would you recommend doing that now? That seems like a pretty bold
I
entrance.
might pass on
Yeah,
that right
I
now.
feel like right now, just sort of grappling in,
This
almost
guy behind you has spotted you.
blind. Okay. Oh, okay. We're done.
Now they know where you are.
How about we grapple? No, we're gonna die! Don't grapple! Run away! Run, Drake! Can I hide? No, he doesn't hide in us anyway. Okay.
If you break line of sight, you'll go back into stealth. You'll be able to hide again.
All right, cool.
But the enemy was aware where you are, so that makes it really difficult. Like they've seen you go into the grass.
This was a very forgiving save point. Thank you. We've got that guy. Okay, he's wandering around there. Tagged him.
We're all set up. Just waiting on approval from Nadine.
Oh! Oh. I feel like that would have been a little less silent because he broke
You've got
the
a
whole
guy
place.
to your right, actually.
No way I imagine that.
Oh, they've all spotted you.
Alright, we're just gonna run and gun now. We're in.
Hold still, would you?
There's one where. There you go. Sam was helping me take him out.
Yeah, nice. And then I take his gun. Sam's a beast. I may have just tried to kill Sully. That may have been something else.
I think
there we go.
you have really good aim, and even though you're aiming in that direction,
Yeah.
you will miss him. If you want, this could be a good situation to head over to
Do you
the
reckon grapple in?
to grapple in,
Yep.
at least over to the left.
Yep.
You can change your.
Oh, yes. Oh, thank God. What's the range on this bad boy? How realistic are shotguns in this game? I can't remember.
It's got a pretty decent.
There we go. Sully!
He thought he had a moment to be able to run in, but that guy came back around the corner.
I think that's it.
Damn it, Rafe and Nadine must have dozens of guys out here. I mean, they could just stumble onto the treasure through blind luck.
As Rafe and Nadine are headed towards Henry Avery's treasure, like you are, you suspect that it could be one of the towers that is in the volcano or towards the volcano. So in this case, they've got, because of the fact that they've got great resources and all this manpower, they've got a little bit of a head start on you.
Yeah.
And so what you're seeing is part of their private army ahead of you already starting to look at some of the ruins that are there.
All right, we're going to leave it there. I am Of course, super excited for this. What I took from that is I feel like there's a really big sense of scale, not only in the areas in which we're going, but also, you know, as we were talking about, this is the last story that you're telling in this series, and that I feel like you're also telling a big story because it's a really personal one. That oftentimes Drake is embroiling himself with people from his past, but they haven't been people from his past that he also shares, you know, blood with. So I'm really excited about the story scaling up. I don't know if I trust Sam. He's a very good fighter and incredibly helpful in the scenarios in which I needed him, but I feel like
He likes to get himself into trouble, clearly.
yeah, so does Nate. I don't know. I don't feel good about where Nate's going to end up at the end of this. And I feel like Sully's pretty old as well. So like this could end in some sort of like murder situation with the brothers. Then Sully looks on, has a heart attack, just out of like panic. The combat felt really good, but I also really love how useful those guys were in those fights. I think more so than ever. Was that something you were really focusing on?
Yeah, when we were starting to work on stealth and sort of figuring out how the NPC, like the enemy AI was working out, it was like, well, you have companions too. We really need to expand on that and really make it feel like they're your allies and they're helpful.
And did you pick up lessons from The Last of Us with that? Because I know a lot of the time, you know, having Ellie wander around, that you would have some weird moments where she would sort of be creeping out and there would be people standing there and she would just sort of like walk around them and come back. But almost more than any other game, I feel like that relationship was two people working together to do something rather than just an NPC.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, that aspect of two people working together in a relationship actually started with Uncharted 2, with Tenzin and Drake as they were going through the cave.
Yeah, that is true.
And so each game that we've worked on has tried to expand on what are the relationships with everybody together. Yeah. With Uncharted 3, you know, there were parts where you actually had 2 or 3 other characters around you as well. So we're just continually iterating and evolving that, and I think this is, obviously our best effort in trying to make that feel really satisfying.
So excited, cannot wait. All right, that's it for today's episode of Pocket. My Pocketeers! Nick Boy out.
Bye.
Bye.